What's up, y'all? It's Binks from 6i over here. It's a 98 Honda LX changing the intake manifold gasket. I didn't see, this is an old gasket and it dried up on me and it's really hard to get off. I didn't see any videos online about this, so hopefully this can help somebody else. But I'll pretty much tell you what I did on this car. I took the air box off and the throttle body, and I took off this coolant line right here, I guess. It's attached to the idle air control valve. I took that off right here so I can pretty much wiggle this. This goes to the air box. So I can pretty much wiggle this out of the way, right? And I took off all of the bolts that are easy to get to, like the ones on top. You know what I'm saying? And these ones down here in the corner, they were pretty easy to get to down here with the wrench. But there's one bolt right here at the bottom in the middle. The bottom in the middle of the intake manifold right there. That one. They say you got to go underneath the car, right? You got to go underneath the car and take off like a bracket, you know, and get like your wrench and all that up there. And they pretty much say it's a pain to get to, but I'm about to show you what I did. This is what I used right here. Maybe this can help y'all. This is like a little breaker bar that holds a socket, right? What I did was, like I said, I took that coolant line off, and I also detached it from the valve cover right here. It's the same line. It's attached to the throttle body. I took that off so I can wiggle this around and detached it from there. So I can wiggle this out of the way. And right in this area, like the dead center of your intake manifold, in between the four cylinders, that is where that bolt is, but it's on the bottom down there. And it's hard to get to. They say you got to go to the bottom. But I just got this breaker bar, and I moved all these lines out the way, and I wiggled it in there like this, right? Can you kind of see that? I wiggled it in there just like this, and I got it on the nut, and I broke it loose, right? And then I just did it again. I did it like 3 times, and then I just stuck my hand in there after that and undid it. So I didn't have to go to the bottom. I don't know how I'm going to get it back on. It's probably going to be harder, but still, you know, I did that. And also, I got this magnet. It's like a long extension magnet, and I stuck it down in there to grab the bolt. But then after that, I just wiggled the intake manifold off, and it was really hard. Like if you're doing it without going from the bottom like I am, it's gonna feel like it's not gonna come off. I mean, that's what it felt like to me, and I was like, man. But I kept on wiggling and jiggling and pushing it hard, but being careful of all these wires and lines that are still attached to this thing. And now it's kind of sitting back here. I can kind of pick it up and move it out the way and kind of access the gasket this way. But this gasket is like an old leather gasket or something. I don't know what it's made out of, but I think it's leather. You see that brown stuff? See that brown stuff right there? That's all like hardened gasket. And the clear, that's where I pulled it off with my hand. Because some parts you can pull off with your hand. You can like break some parts off. Like get your hand in this little groove right here and then just pull the gasket off. But I can only get some of it off because these parts like this are like attached to the head. Like they're stuck on there. There's some down there, some right here. You know, like pretty much in all the main corners. Like right here and then down there too. There's some attached to that. You can see it. And it's this thick like leather gasket, and it dried up, got really dry. I haven't seen any videos on YouTube about this. So what I did was, after I got all that off, I went and bought this gasket remover from Permatex. Some places don't actually sell this, but if you find it, this one's got a little brush on it. What you do is you spray it on lightly and you brush it in. Brush it all over it, let it sit there for about 20 minutes. Then come back, get you a plastic scraper, plastic razor blade scraper, because you don't want to use anything metal, a flathead, a razor blade, because this is an aluminum head and you can actually shave and scrape part of the head off, and it won't have a good seal. So you don't want to use anything metal. Get this little plastic thing. It's like $4. Then I also got this little plastic brush. It's a hard bristled plastic brush, and this is, I put some some carburetor cleaner on this after I've scraped it all off, and it just gets the extra little stuff off, makes it nice and shiny. That's actually how I got this part of the manifold all nice and shiny, because it came off easy on this part. The gasket came off easy, but on the actual head, it's hard to get off. So I did that application, put that remover on there, that gasket remover, and it still didn't fix my problem. Like, I mean, it helped a lot, but one dosage of it didn't help. So I'm gonna have to do it again. And there's not much in that little can, so I bought this gunk engine cleaner because I'm gonna clean my engine anyways. But I stuffed. Oh, and by the way, I would stuff some napkins inside of these holes. There's 4 holes to I guess the cylinders. I don't know. But yeah, you just stick some paper towels in there so you don't get stuff all on your head. And then after I did the one application of the gasket remover, it kind of helped. And then I'm gonna do it one more time. But right now, I actually just lightly sprayed this stuff on here, right here. And maybe if you have some 3M adhesive remover or some Goo Gone or something like that, that might work. That might work too. But this is the engine degreaser. I kind of just sprayed it on the real hard areas, like right here and stuff, and I let it sit there. And then I came with my scraper and I tried to scrape it off. And it's going to take a long time and a lot of elbow grease. But this is how you got to do it. I don't know if there's an easier way to do it. I even used gasket remover, chemical, and it's still hard. So, but yeah, this is how you do it. And then I guess you would just put everything back together. And some intake manifold gaskets need sealant. You got to put sealant on them and stuff. But I bought this Felpro gasket right here. It's like some aluminum gasket. It's already got some sealant like built into it or something like that. So you don't need this. You just put this on. So I would recommend getting something like this, Felpro. It's real easy to put on. It's like this light metal, kind of squishy. Feels real nice. They say this next time if let's say you had to replace this one, which probably won't be for a while, but you could just take it right off. It won't be like this other gasket and get stuck. That Felpro gasket was all stay together. See, this was an old gasket. I don't know if it's the original one or not, but yeah, then you just put everything. You just, I guess you would put this back on. I don't know how I'm going to find a way to put the bottom bolt back in, but I'm going to find a way. Maybe even put the nut in this breaker bar in the socket and try to get it on, and try to spin it on. Yeah, and then hook up all your lines back up to your valve cover and to your throttle body right here. Hook these back up to your throttle body. You know what I'm saying? Because I unhooked both of these lines from the throttle body, so I can move these out of the way to get to that one bolt, which is right there in the middle. So yeah, put that back on. Put your air box back on, and then after you do this, right? And be careful, because when you do this, put something underneath, because a lot of coolant's going to come out of your intake manifold. There's a lot of coolant that runs through there, so a lot of coolant's going to come out. So put like a pan or something underneath there, right? And then when you put everything back together, you're going to need to top off your coolant. You're going to need to top off your coolant. All right, so what you do is you would fill this up and then fill the reservoir up, right? Then and then you're going to have to bleed it too after that, because you might have idle problems because of air in the system, so you're going to have to bleed it. So refill your coolant. Refill this to the line. Mine has like a little max line right there. Refill this to the line. Refill this. Turn your car on. This after you got everything put back together and you got your coolant in here. Turn your car on. But before you turn the car on, turn your air on hot. Right? Turn it on all the way hot, but turn your fan off. Don't turn the fan on. Leave your fan off. Then start your car and let it. You can have somebody in the car, or you can do it outside of the car, but gas it at about 2,500 RPMs, maybe 3,000 RPMs, until your coolant fan kicks on, right? Then hold it there until your coolant fan shuts off, because it's going to turn on to cool the engine, then it's going to turn off. And when you do that, when the coolant fan turns off, let go of the gas, let it idle for a minute, and then top the rest of the coolant back off. Top the coolant back off, you know what I'm saying? Put the cap back on it. and then you should be good to go after that. So hopefully this video will help you, because I didn't find anything online to help me. I pretty much had to Frankenstein it and find a bunch of different, you know, blogs from different websites to find this out pretty much. But here's a video, so hopefully it'll help you. And I mean, it doesn't matter what car you got. If you got another car with an old gasket, I mean, that's how you got to do it. So, all right, yeah, this is Binks again from 6 Auto. We got the album coming soon, so y'all get ready for that one. So, all right, y'all.